Oh, hello there. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday thus far. Welcome back to Crafters. If you're not having a wonderful Sunday, don't worry. We're going to sort it out. We're going to change that for you because we've got a whole day full of shows coming up. Of course, this fantastic masterclass with you right now. And then a little later today, we will have Second Chance Sunday as well, which will be fantastic. So there's absolutely loads to shop for. I'd love you to let me know what you're up to, though, on this Sunday morning, wherever you are. You can do that. You can always get in touch with us here at Crafters TV really easily by dropping into the comments over on Facebook, or you can pop us a comment over on YouTube as well. One of our social media superstars. I will pick them up. Now, talking of superstars, I'm joined by Craig. How are you, Craig?
Good morning, it's good to be back. I had a couple of days off. Now we're back raring to go for Sunday morning. Sunday morning here in the UK. We've got a really fun masterclass, jam-packed full with lots of pop-up elements. So to say, we've got whether you want to have Christmas, whether you want to have all occasion, and then we've even got some sentiments that would work really well with your pop-up boxes. So let's show you a few things of some of the things you can be making. So here's just some of the Christmas selection that you can see there. Now you can make these as tall as you want. You can have them really short if you want. So we've got Santa there. Then we've got what about the gingerbread men or women? You can see obviously the different heights that you can actually make them. You could then even incorporate some of your other stamps or dies that you've got at home. What about non-Christmas? So here is a shallow one that you see that we've just made. What about unicorns and fairies, all these enchanted gardens? But you might want to have your flower themes. You can see they're bringing in a bow as well that's also got on the show. And then here's the sentiments that I was talking about, some of my favourite all-time. They're also on the show for you to check out on the website. Nothing stopping you from incorporating these with your samples. These are just a few things as to what we're going to be focusing on the next couple of hours here on Masterclass.
It's going to be a fun-filled, action-packed couple of hours for sure this morning, so make sure you stick along. I know a lot of you will already own the pop-up box dies, whether it is the regular ones or it is the Christmas ones. If you've got them, you've been crafting lots of lovely stuff with them, I'd love you to send us in some pictures of what you have been creating, and it's really easy. You can do that by emailing us studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk. Details there along the bottom of your screen. Right, shall we get stuck in then and show you what is coming up in this show? It is all about, firstly, our pop-up boxes. So let me just show you what the dies are and how they work. So these are your stamps and dies that you've got. So this is your snowman that you've got just here. So you can see you're going to be able to cut all of these lovely elements and then also stamp them too. Lots of room in there if you want to do your colouring too. You can play around with the colourways, get really different looks and feels. So that's the first one that you're getting in here. You're getting the snowman, which is that one there. You're also going to get, now this is my favourite, that's why I'm starting with it, you're going to get the gingerbread house. Now another great thing about these pop-up boxes is that you can make them super full like this one has been made just here, or you can make them a little bit less is more. Some of them lend themselves to being a bit fuller, some of them lend themselves to being a bit less is more. This one here, which is Santa and Rudolph, this one is less full, but I think it's equally beautiful. The other great thing as well is that you can play around, bring all of your different pattern papers in there. You could do this in red themes, it looks equally beautiful in the greens there too. This one here that you've got, this is the poinsettia, very, very traditional Christmas feel with that one just there. We've also got for you the Christmas cottage, which is this one here. Now, if you're going for that bundle there on your screen, you're getting all of these, remember, which is fantastic. You're also going to get in the collection this one. Now, I love this one. It's the nativity scene. And what I love about it is that it's traditional, isn't it? The most traditional Christmas when you think about it, but with a very, very modern twist, this one, which is fantastic. So you're going to get all of those included, which is brilliant. And if you're going for that, £80 if you're in the UK, $99 if you're across in the US, you're saving over 10%, which is brilliant. And of course, you can use your Club Inspired discount with that as well. Now, we've got Christmas covered, which is everything that you can see just there. We also have them in the everyday format as well. Now, these have been both collections actually been very, very popular since we launched them to you. So there's actually 7 different ones in this set, and again, great value for money, £78 or $104 if you want to go for this one. So this one here is I Believe in Fairies, which is fantastic. Do love that one. Then you've got this sort of underwater one here as well, which is gorgeous with those wonderful mermaids. That one being called your Ocean Paradise. This one is my favourite, the next one, because it is, you'll see why when you see it. It's got unicorns, it's got fairies, it's got castles in there as well. It really has got a bit of everything. That one's called Once Upon a Time. You've then got this beautiful one here with all of the flowers and the butterflies, which is gorgeous. And that one there is Floral Boutique that you've got. Let me show you. I know there's loads in here, isn't there? This one, just fantastic. If you're having something like an afternoon tea party or a coffee morning or something like that, that one's great. That's Vintage Tea Party that you've got there. Also, these work so well for birthday cards, these collections. This one that we've got just here is all of your numbers on here, and this is great. This is your happy birthday one, you can see just there, and it's going to be really fantastic for doing all of those milestone birthdays. That one's lovely. And then you've also got the final one in here, which is Back to Nature, which is that one there. I just think they make something incredibly striking and very, very unique, and you'll see how easy these are to put together as we go through. Great saving here on this one. You're saving $26.93 or $25.65 if you are going for that one just there. Now, whichever one you're going for, what you need to make sure you've grabbed hold of, or if you don't own it already, is the actual pop-up box die itself. Now, this is the worker die that does all of the work for you. So what you've got is you've got the element that's going to cut and do all of the scoring for you. What you've then got is the sort of these tags on here as well. Now, the tags are great. These are going to allow you to do lots of your embellishing, or if you just want to pop a tag on the outside, you can do that. You then get the dies as well that will allow you to cut your mats too. So that's allowing you to decorate these panels also, which is fantastic. $24.99 or $39.95 if you want to go for that one just there. Now, we also have some fabulous paper pads that have been designed to work beautifully with your collection. So this one just here is the Christmas one. As you can see, this is the pop-up box pad Christmas. Really, really beautiful. So you can see lovely designs in here that are really well thought out to work with each and every one of the designs within that Christmas collection. I think you could use this for your, regular day-to-day Christmas crafting if you wanted to. Nothing to stop you doing that. It's a great paper pad whether you are or are not using it with your pop-up boxes. $12.99 or $19.99 if you want to get your hands on that one. Now, we do have another one, maybe more suited to the everyday pop-up boxes, this one. It is your 8x8 paper pad, as you can see here. Let me just flick through there and show you. And again, these are all designed to work with the different themes that you'll find within those everyday ones. I love the clouds in there, especially. For $9.99 or $14.95 if you want to go for that one. Now, there's absolutely loads on the website, loads in the show. Might like to get to see you. I will run you through as well a little bit later in the show. We've got the tri-blends on. They'll be really, really busy. Loads of you commenting away already. Shadiah says, good morning, Joe and Craig. I'm lying in bed with a cup of tea watching you. That sounds wonderful, doesn't it? Lynn says, making some anniversary cards today. I've been commissioned to make 7 different ones for the same couple. No pressure at all. Hannah says, this is Sunday. I'm crafting with a new nativity collection. Love your thinking there, Hannah. And another Hannah, Hannah Needham says, I've ordered both sets the other day. Can't wait for them to come. I am excited for you, Hannah. Right, it's Sunday. He's like a coiled spring over on that side of the studio. He's ready to go. I fear he may have been at the coffee. We'll see as the couple of hours unfolds. But over to you, Craig.
Well, you say that, but I'm actually, I was just intrigued with everything you were going over there. I've got a cup of tea this morning.
Tea,
lovely. Don't have coffee just yet. I'll maybe have a coffee later on in the day, but got my cup of tea. So what we can do is, as he says, take the mouthful first. We will start with the Christmas pop-up. So I thought what I'll do with this one is we'll spend just a little bit of time showing you how to make a box, a shallow box, if you've only got the Gemini Junior. And then when we do one of the other pop-up boxes later on, I'll show you how you can make a large pop-up box. So then we can do all the decorating, all the fun. So what we're going to do for this one is we're going to bring in the actual die that creates the pop-up. So as you can see within this one here, you get a nice selection of die. So you get the main die. So this is what enables you to create the pop-up box. Now for this one, you're going to die cut this twice, but I'm going to show you that one. Then you have got your tab. So this is what's going to go on the inside for your pop-up stamped images to sit on. And then you've got some nice extra details. So you've got some mats and layers and some tags as well. So I've got the large Gemini with me today, but But if you want to use your Gemini Junior, you can, but what you need to remember is the pop-up box, the height of the pop-up box is only going to be the height of your Gemini Junior plates. So for instance, if I have got a Gemini Junior plate just here, so we've got a plate. So if I bring that one in there, so you can see really the die just fits the Gemini Junior plate there. So that is how high your actual pop-up box will be. But what I'll do is let's actually die cut it so I can show you exactly what I mean. So what we'll just do, I'm just going to use my Gemini, large Gemini plates while I've got them. So all that I'm just going to do is I'm just going to pop my piece of card up towards the top.
So when it comes to creating the bases for these boxes, Craig, what's the best sort of weight of card would you say to go for? Can you also use things like glitter and mirror for the actual construction of the box as well?
You can. What I would say when it comes to the construction, if you keep along the lines of a 300 GSM card, so whether it is your Centura Pearl, I use 9 times out of 10 for the core base of the actual pop-up box, I use our white stamping card. So that's what, 300 GSM. But yeah, it could be glitter card, it could be a mirror card, it could be a Centura Pearl. Maybe you've got some adorable scoreable on our show. That would work well as well. So absolutely go for it. But always, if you keep in mind, maybe round about 300 GSM. Alternatively, you could use the construction weight acetate and create an acetate pop-up box. So that would look quite nice. So I'm just going to peel these bits off. So all that I just done is I just popped the die up to the edge of the cardstock, and then all that I'm just going to do is just snip just these two bottom bits. So I'm just going to snip there and then there. So that would be the size of your pop-up box if you're using your Gemini Junior plates. So all that I would just do is die cut another one just on the other side, exactly the same as I've just done, and that would give us the two that I have got just there. So what I'm just going to do is move that out the side for the time being. So if I then bring in my two that I've already done, so you will see that you've got some score lines already on it. So you're just going to fold them in. So you've got the two of them, so fold them in, and you've also got little tabs just there. So they're going to fold in as well. Bringing in my pokey tool, use either a wet glue or a red liner tape, as that's extra strong. So peeling that off, and we're just going to just place that over the top, and we're just going to match them up to the score line there, and then we can just fold this one over. And at this point, you could start to incorporate the tabs into the middle that would then hold your pop-up elements. I like to construct my pop-up box first and then pop them in, but we'll show you that in a second. So
lots of questions coming in, Craig. If you wanted to colour these boxes with the illustrators, which would you, with the classics, which cardstock would you use then? That's Mary N is asking that on YouTube.
So you could use your Nina, but again, if we go to along the lines of like a 300 GSM, a nice heavyweight, you would use your white stamping card, but you can absolutely colour them. Maybe if you've got a background stamps and you maybe actually want to stamp the cardstock and then die cut, you can do. And then obviously if you want to colour, then why not use your, your classics or tri-blend pens. When it comes to the actual pop-up element that we're going to show you in a moment, the actual design, you'll see that I stamp onto Nina and then colour with our marker pens.
And also a lot of people asking, what is the acetate that you use in the pop-up box themselves, to pop the characters on, Craig?
So again, that would be a heavyweight acetate, so about a 220 micron. If you use a thin acetate with, maybe like a printable or heat proof, because it's still really quite light and it's quite flimsy, that even the weight of your cardstock, when it comes to what you've obviously coloured and die cut, that can then just be a bit too heavy and it pulls over the actual design. So if you use about a 220 micron, which if you just look for heavyweight acetate and use that one, that'll be good for you as well.
Fantastic.
So all that I've just done is once I assembled it, it looks like that. So two side ones I've just folded over, and then also front one I've just folded over. So that gives you the box shape. So then you'll also find within the middle, if I bring this one that I'd already done, so on this bit here, you've got 3 score lines. This is where your actual tabs meet up to. So you get the die, which is here. So if I take this one off, this is the die. So you're going to die cut that 3 times. That's going to give you that one just there. So that's going to give you your tab for inside. So then what you're going to do on each side, you're just going to match up. So we've got the score line just there. I'm just going to match that up. I'm not pressing because I'm not using this one, but they just line up against that line within the middle. If you want, you can use a craft knife, score through them and actually just feed them through, but alternatively use a red liner tape or a wet glue and that will hold them into place. So this is the bit I was meaning you can actually do before you assemble it, or I like to do it once it's assembled. So all that I'm just doing, so I'm just going to tilt this just forward so hopefully we can see it that way. I'm just popping that one in. So just the fold crease line of my tab, I'm just going to press up against that score line. So if I turn it that way, there we go. So I've just popped it that way and then I'm just turning it around, and then once again, just up to that next score line, I'm just going to press that into place and just hold it. So then that starts to, you can see we've got one of them just there. So if I then add in the other two, and then it's then, once you've got to this point, this is the point that the next bit's all about the fun. It's all about the decorating. You get to do the stamping and the colouring. So just bringing in the second one just into there. So up against the score line that you can see just there. And then last but not least, let's bring in the next one. If you were to actually use a craft knife and feed these through, you will be able to hide them because you've got some layers that you can mat and layer on the outside to decorate it. So you can hide them if you want to do it that way.
So that back panel that's still sticking up, Craig, is that just because you haven't burnished it? Is that all it is? Is that the difference between it being a flap and the back part?
Yeah, obviously if you want to fold the back down, you absolutely can.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
But then if I just bring in, let's bring in the one that I showed you earlier on. You know, usually what you'll find is that back part, that back panel, is the one, not only is it giving a bit extra stability, but it's also creating the background theme that you can see right into the back. So that's what's kind of holding the design together. But if you want to fold it over, you can do, no problem at all. So then there is the start of our wee small pop-up, and we've got our wee tabs just within the middle, and that's where everything's going to sit onto. Wonderful. So what we can then do is, if we bring in some of our pattern paper from that 12 by 12 paper pad, so I've just got a few of them just here. I have already die cut these out because you've got a few dies. So that matches your side panel that we can see just there, and then this one matches the rectangle panel that runs along the front, but also it runs along the back as well. So if you like the look of matting and layering, but maybe you don't want to use a guillotine or paper trimmer or that, then this does it for you. So when it comes to that design, the rectangle, I've die cut 2, and then when it comes to the square, I've die cut another 2 with the bow and holly leaf one. So that's how I've done these ones to decorate in a moment. So let's just set these ones just to the side for the time being. And then now this is the fun bit with the stamping and the colouring and the creating. So what we're going to do, if we then bring in our stamping die set, I'm going to use the Poinsettia Delight for this one. So this is where you get all of these dies. So all of these dies just here, these coordinate with your stamp set. So you've got your stamps, we've got single poinsettias, we've got double, we've got, say, the candles, the foliage, the leaves, the berries. So this is now where you can decorate. So all that I'm going to do, because I'm going to use my tri-blend pens, I'm going to use my Noir Black alcohol-proof ink pad. And I'm also going to bring in my Neenah for this one. Because I am colouring in with our marker pens, our Neenah card's the best one for that one. So let's take one of the poinsettias. So I've just popped the poinsettia onto my stamping platform. So just stamping that, covering that just with some of our ink, our Noir Black. Alternatively, you could use maybe the grey or the pebble if you want to go for a different look. So I'm just pressing and just stamping that into place, and you can see instantly all that design that you can see coming through with the poinsettia. Then let's just bring one more in as well. So let's bring in the candle with all the foliage, the holly, the berries. There's even got some, not corn, what do you call them again? Joe, help me out.
Poinsettias, what are we talking about?
I want to say corn on the cob, it's not corn on the cob.
Corn on the cob? Where does it go?
Pine cone, that's
pine
it.
cone.
Thank you, John. Yeah, it's nothing like a corn on the cob, but I had the word corn in my head. So.
Imagine if you're like this time of Christmas time, trees just had little bits of corn on the cob dangling off of them.
You never know. You never know. You might want to decorate your house with some dried corn on the cob. Yeah. Go
Will look
figure.
great in a shaker card though, some dry sweet corn.
Yeah, it would actually, wouldn't it?
There's
Yeah.
an idea.
It would indeed. So I've just taken just another piece of cardstock just here, just for the underlay. And I'm going to bring in my tri-blends, and I'm going to go for, so we'll just at least colour in the poinsettia for this one. So we'll just need the red for now. So with this one I'm using the dark red. If you're new at the poinsettias, we'll go over them in a bit more detail later on, but it's got your one colour, so this is the red. However, on one end it's got the dark, on the other end you've got the light tone, and then on the middle you've got the mid-tone. So if you're familiar with our 3-blend colouring, then this has it all in the one pen, the 3 shades of the one colour. So what I like to do when it comes to doing the poinsettia, keeping it really quite simple, I've just gone to my light end. So then all that I'm just doing is I'm coming into the base of the poinsettia and I'm just going round in circular motions. So just circular motions, just filling up the poinsettia. As you get more comfortable, more experienced, you can start adding detail into all the leaves of the poinsettia if you want. And I'm just going to finish, I'm just leaving just the tip of the poinsettia. And now I'm going to come now to the deep tone on the other end. And then again, just in circular motions, I'm just going to go around, just maybe about a third of the way up. And I'm just going to leave it just there. Then I'm going to go into the mid. So if I pull that one open, and then just where the dark and the light meet, I'm just going to go just in small circles, just overlapping ever so lightly, and then I'm going back over the light tone. And the reason we've gone over with the light tone is that kind of gives us a bit of a base. It's kind of like priming your cardstock, so to speak. And then now we're going to finish off, we're going back to the light tone, and just in circular motions again, we're just going to finish that one off. I'm going to move on to this one, and then we'll show you the one that I've just done, because if you leave it a moment or two, when the alcohol evaporates, then that's when you really start to see the blending coming to life.
Loads of people commenting away, Craig. I love these pop-up boxes. They're so easy to make and great to look at, says Mary N. Sally's making pop-up boxes, she says, at the moment to replace the 10 that she sold to a friend a couple of weeks ago. Sounds like they're flying out. Rashi saying, hello everyone, Rashi here today. I've done mock shopping, so I am free. We're glad you're here with us, Rashi. Mary was asking about cardstock, which we covered. Hannah was asking about the acetate. We also covered that. What's the plate combo? Is it just a standard one, asked Cindy?
Yep, exactly the same plate combination. So it's your base cutting plate, and then it's obviously your cardstock and your die, and then it's your plastic shim, magnetic shim, and then your top cutting plate.
Fantastic. Shireen saying, morning boys, just about to start working on some birthday cards. I'm getting distracted by Craig demonstrated my favourite kind of cards to make. A lot of people say that these pop-up boxes are so much fun to make. Betsy saying this class is perfect timing. I've just received these and was planning on playing with them. It's 5 a.m. now, so just watching on TV while still in bed. Oh, imagine being all cosy in bed and still watching with a cup of tea. Just gorgeous. Really lovely. Diane says, well, I've been playing with these dies for the last few days. Spent a couple of days just cutting and colouring, then started assembly. Still need to go back and add sentiments and embellishments, but they are so much fun. And Carol says, good morning, Craig and Joe from Ohio. Just morning. Got my Golden Arches coffee. Ohio to you, Carol. And Monica's saying, these are my favourite cards to make. I've made 4 so far. Each time I learn more and more, but everyone who's been gifted these is completely surprised, and they have the wow factor. I think we hear that a lot, don't we? Imagine getting one. Someone said, oh, I've made you a birthday card. You know, they send it out to you, or a Christmas card, whatever it is, Craig, and it turns up and you open it up and you've got that amazing display of characters to put on the shelf or on the mantelpiece, wherever you're going to put it. You'd be absolutely made up, wouldn't you?
Of course you would, absolutely. You know, all that detail, the fact that it's so, it is completely, I've completely lost my train of thought there. Dimensional, that's the word.
You know what you need,
Do you know
Craig,
what
you know what you need? You need a white Twix. I feel like we need to get Craig.
Do we have it?
Break out the emergency chocolate stash for Craig.
Do we still have white Twixes?
I think we have, yeah. I'll get you one, don't you worry. As the show goes on, I'll grab you one.
So if I show you just what I've done so far, so if I bring this up for you to see, so just where I'm pointing with my poke tool, that's the first one that we just done. So can you see, even with the ones that I've just done, you can see how that blending started to come in. We've gone from the dark, it's going up to the medium, and then it's going right to the light at the very top. So then all that you would just do is you would carry that on all the way around, and then you would even then just carry on, you'd do exactly the same with your tea lights, you know, it could be your candles, your foliage, just in the colour colourways that you want it to be. And then if I bring these two that I've done earlier, where I'd even actually incorporated some glitter just into the centre of the poinsettia. So either if you've got some of the glitter glues, or what you could do is just a tacky glue with any of our loose glitter, just adding that one in. So that is to that point that I've got to. So then what you do is, because you get the actual dies to die cut them out, so let's just bring in our plates again and we'll die cut these ones that I've done, and then we can start to assemble it. So I'm just going to bring this one into place, and then let's bring in my low tack tape. So this is one of these, because it's our Stampin' dies, you can either stamp them out and die cut them, or you can die cut them and then stamp. It's whatever you feel most comfortable with. So I'm just going to take the die that matches the stamp. So all that I'm just going to do is I'm just going to just turn it around just until I can find out the way that it goes. So if it's not that way, so
now, Craig,
just...
whilst in the large collection you are getting all of them, you can sort of pick and choose if you want to as well. Don't forget that. They're all available individually for $14.99 or $19.95, but you get any two for £26 or $35. So if you want to put your own bundle together, your own configuration, I think I'm right in saying you can mix and match across both of the ranges as well. So you can get maybe one of the everydays or a couple of the everydays with one or a couple of the Christmas ones as well. So it's completely up to you how you want to get a hold of them, but it is getting very, very busy now on this Sunday morning. Craig, Sunday morning, 11:30, if you weren't here at Crafters TV, what would you be doing?
I would probably, the TV would be on, and I'd probably be doing my housework.
Would you?
I tend to try and do my housework on a Sunday, yeah. Yep. So
I've got quite good now at not doing any chores at the weekend.
Oh,
it's my new rule.
Isn't it funny how you can be like that? Some like to do their housework during the week, so the weekends are free, and then others, maybe like myself, like to do the housework on a Sunday just to get it out
so I
the way.
would definitely get the chores done on work days, so days off are days off. Producer Johnny, what would you be doing at 11:30, other than being in the pub, obviously? If he wasn't in the pub, he would be at his daughter Isla's dance class, which is 11:30 in the morning, but not happening on. Is there like a Zoom version now? Fabulous. Well, that's good. So Johnny would be at home doing that. Director Daniel, what would you be doing at 11:30 on a Sunday? Bit of gardening. Yeah, lovely. Love that. We've all got very eclectic tastes, haven't we? I think I'd probably be on the sofa in my kimono, Craig, watching the TV with a cup of coffee.
That would be a sight for sore eyes. What I've just done is I've just popped the dies around the stamped area, and then all that I'm going to do is pop my plastic shim, magnetic shim, and we're just going to run that through. Now many of these, if not all of them, of the stamped dies, they will go through your mini and your go if you're wanting to do these ones. Maybe just like you were saying just a moment ago, maybe stamping them out, colouring them, you know, on a night time during the day, and then just set them aside, and then you can create your boxes all in a one-er. So if I then just take these ones out, so because this gives you the actual die that works all the way around the stamped area, it gives you that effect just there. So if I bring these ones up that you can see just there, so there's our poinsettia, we've got our candles with all the foliage and not the corn on the cob, and then again we've got another one as well. So that's the three that I've got just there. If I bring in nice selection that's sat and coloured just here. Now this is where, if we bring in the pop-up box element, we're a way to decorate it. Now when it comes to all these parts here, you can pop them on strips of acetate, so you get that bobble effect, but we're not going to, we're just going to pop them straight into the middle of the pop-ups. So
I love that you get that like white outline around the poinsettia. It really makes it pop, doesn't it, Craig?
It does.
It's giving you a little bit of a border.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like that look. And what you can do, before you can die cut it, I don't do stamping a lot, but when I do stamping, what I like to do is actually draw around the outside edge with one of our grey markers. So it's usually ice grey 1 or ice grey 2, and I just go around the edge with the grey. So if you're not overly keen on that white area, one, you can either snip away at it if you quite like fussy cutting like I do, or what you can just do is just go around the area with a fine grey marker.
Fantastic. Top tip there from Craig. Shadai is saying, here we go, I wondered when the fun would begin. Corn on the cob, what you like, Craig?
But America, they do kind of like wreaths or garland with popcorn and that, don't you?
Popcorn?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah. Seen it on Gremlins.
Now, this might be really... Gremlins. This might be a really stupid question, and I should really know this, but is popcorn just dried sweet corn?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah.
I thought
You're the chef, you should know.
I know.
Well,
I was questioning...
You're the chef. I've just dropped my panel.
Anyway, you're having too much fun this morning, Craig. Stacey saying, every time I see the tri-blends, I'm always tempted. What are the best pens for colouring? I think that's a bit of a broad term. I think it's... Where's he gone? There he is. I think it's safe to say, if you were looking to start your colouring journey, then absolutely the tri-blends would be a great place to start. Cindy says, good morning. Joe and Craig, early here in Minnesota. Good morning. Janine says, Craig is so good at the blending. Everyone can be great at the blending when you've got those tri-blends, remember. I love the Nina cardstock. M is asking you what tape it is that you're using, Craig.
So for construction of the box and the pop-up, I'm just using, construction of the pop-up box, I'm using a red liner tape. And then just to actually pop the layers nut on, I'm using my double-sided tape. Either use the tape that I usually use or the tape runner that you can do just for speed, but that'll still give you a strong bond.
Any day now, Craig, I was told, you know. Any day now, the tape runners will be back.
Oh, no, we've been waiting on them.
Fingers crossed.
We're literally down to the last few. So what I'm just going to do, seeing as I have lost my wee panel, what we can do is let's just die cut another one. So I've used that matte and layer die that come within the pop-up box dies. So I've just taken that same coordinated paper. Let's just straighten that one up because the other one is straight. And we're just going to tape that one down. And we're going to run that one through. So you don't just have to use these to die cut for the panels for your pop-up box. Maybe you want to use them as a standalone. Same with all these stamps. You don't necessarily have to use them for the pop-up. If you like to build up scenes, if you like to do and use your Pebeo drawn gum, you could be using that. Alternatively, you might have other dies at home that you can create the pop-up elements for. Have a look, see what you've got, and see what would look quite smart popping out of a box.
Monica's saying she's always amazed at how Craig can get that perfect white outline.
It's just literally, if I bring another one in, let's just pop that one on, press that into place. So if let's bring in this one that I've not cut yet, and let's bring in our die, which is here. So if all that I tend to do is I just tend to follow the outline of the stamped area. So let's take this one off.
So that's down to the way the dies have been engineered, is it, Craig?
It is. It really is. So what I'm just doing is I'm just kind of lining it up. And then what I'm doing, I'm just using my eye. I'm trying to look for my pokey tool. If I can find it, let's find another one.
Can we blame Debbie for this?
Can we blame Debbie
Poor old
for
Debbie
this?
always gets the blame, doesn't she, when anyone can't find
Poor
anything? Oh, it's
Debbie.
because Debbie was here.
Hey, talking about Debbie, other Debbie's back later on.
Oh.
Debbie Fisher's back later on.
Absolutely. Have we got any double different Debbie days this week? Because it could happen. Yeah, Debbie Fisher is back in the building of Second Chance Sunday. She'll be here with Second Chance Sunday. She's also back tomorrow with me for Monday Makers. And she's also going to be here on Tuesday as well for Launch Party. So she's going to be bringing you the second show of the day over the next few days, which will be exciting, won't it, Craig?
It's going to be so good to see her back on Crafters TV. It's been a while. I've seen her Instagram post, and it's March was the last time Debbie was here.
The day that we went into full lockdown in the UK was the last day she was here. Yeah, we had a show together.
It's just going to be so good to be able to watch her again. So all that I just do, so I've overlaid my die, and that black outside line of the stamped image, I'm just having a look, and I've just got it just so it marries up on the inside of the die. So I know it's going to be a bit harder for you to, actually you can just see it there. See how just on the inside of the die, you've got the outside of the black line of the stamped area. So that's how I just tend to just line them up and then just tape them down securely as well, and that'll stop them from moving. So just have a look at the outside line of your die and then just run it through that way. So what we've done now is that's just decorated our pop-up box. So let's just fold them over again, give them a burnish, and then that's it just coming to light. So then what we can do is just bring in these images that we've just stamped and coloured. So let's bring all of these in. This is when we can have some fun. So let's bring in the candles, because we could have these ones maybe towards the back. So all that I'm just going to do is add a bit of tape. When it comes to anything construction, I would tend to use a wet glue, so it would be kind of like our Collall tacky glue, because then that just dries into the fibres and holds into place. Or, as I say, you can use strips of acetate. So all that I'm just going to do is I'm just going to pop, actually, no, let's take, we've got these poinsettias that are double height, or it could be double length. So let's just make a feature at the back. So what I'm going to do is let's add some tape at the bottom, and then we can have it just so that they're standing proud at the back. We could have one at each side. Don't worry about it being straight or at a right angle or that. Nature isn't perfect. So what we can just do is have these ones just at the back. Then let's bring in one of the candles, which I've still got tape on. So we're just placing that, pressing it into place. So if I tip that forward, can you see how all that I'm just doing is sticking them against the panel? We've got that effect there. Then what we can do is let's bring in these berries and leaves. I'm going to pop tape on the front, because what I'm going to do is on the same panel as this one with the candle, I'm just going to pop it just behind. So it's actually going to be behind. Nothing stopping you using glue gel or 3D foam pads as well to create extra dimension. Or if you want to pop extra panels in the middle, you can do. Plenty of room to pop a few more.
This one lends itself especially to not being elevated, doesn't it? Whereas
Yes,
I guess
does.
some of the other ones, like the gingerbread one, for instance, would... Well, I guess it wouldn't look odd, but it definitely looks better, doesn't it, when it's extended up?
Absolutely, completely agree. You just want that wee bit of extra height to it, don't you? So let's bring in our poinsettia. Let's have them a bit further down, like that one. And then we'll bring in another one. And then all what we'll just do is add a sentiment to the front. So we'll just press that into place. Bringing in the die. So again, this is one from the pop-up box die that you can see just there. So I've just die cut that in white. And I've just taken some of Christmas sentiment that I've already got within my stash.
Craig, do you think people will incorporate this into their other Christmas crafting? Do you think, like these stamps and dies, for instance, you could use them on card projects or scrapbooks or other stuff? Or do you envisage people just using them for this job?
Gosh, no, you can use them any way that you want. If you want to make cards, then you can do. If after Christmas time, I know you guys in the States, you do a lot more scrapbooking than card making. Not to say you don't do card making, because you do, but certainly here in the UK we do more card making than scrapbooking. You can, of course, after the Christmas season, if you want to create your scrapbook pages, why not stamp, colour and die cut a few of these out? These could be like a finishing accent on the corner of your photos, or it could be if you're doing memory books, you could add them in your memory books. Maybe if you like to create Christmas chutneys or jams, why not use these as to decorate the jars? You could be stamping colour them. Of course, they won't be waterproof unless you were to obviously use a waterproof sealer or that. But yeah, so many different ways. You don't have to just use them into the pop-up elements. So let's just press that one into place, and then let's just bring in a foam pad. I just want to lift that one up just a bit high onto the front.
I knew you'd get a foam pad in there somewhere, Craig.
Always got to be a foam pad. Always got to be a foam pad. I will find a foam pad or a way to use a foam pad somehow. So let's just peel this one off. Then all that we're going to do is we're just going to press that just against the front. We can see there, so that's just going to go just there. Then we've got a couple of individual leaves and berries, so we can bring them in and pop these ones onto the front. So for this one, let's just use a bit of wet glue. So we'll just pop that one there, and we're just going to press that one to the side. So that one I've just done flat, but you can, if you want, you can manipulate them and bend them, add a wee bit extra shape, bring in your glue gel or foam tape. So let's just pop that one on there, adding a bit of pressure, holding that. And then last but not least, let's pop a bit of glue, and then let's just pop that one on as well. Now that full pop-up box, as well as all the elements, that one size-wise has been made using the Gemini Junior, or can be made using the Gemini Junior. I did use the large Gemini, but you could do this one with the Junior. So there we go. Pop-up element there. You've got all the size, all decorated size, with stamp coloured, say the middle, but it could be the sparkle pens, it could be aqua pens. It doesn't just have to be classics or tri-blend pens, but it's just one of the ideas that you could use. Alternatively, you could do that style, but with any of the other stamping dies.
Looks absolutely beautiful, Craig. Lots of questions still coming in. Terry Lee says, is Nina different than the Spectrum Noir Ultra Smooth?
So your Nina, if you use your Nina for doing your colouring, because that's just done perfectly, it's been made perfectly for whether you want to do your blending, your colouring. So if you use kind of like your Super Smooth for any of your stamping or inking, that works best for that. When it comes to actually colouring in, if you use the Nina, that's where you're going to get that perfect blend and you're going to get that perfect result every time.
Fantastic. Cindy says, looking forward to Joe making the larger box using the full-size Gemini cutting plates. It won't be me, Cindy. It will definitely be Craig who is doing that. Don't you worry. Mary says, hello from upstate New York. Hello, Mary. Tessie, great question, actually, Craig. Tessie says, do the strips inside the box have to be folded and attached in a certain direction so that the card can fold?
No, not at all. If I bring this one just in, so you can see with this one, I've got it so that the tabs are actually folding backwards, so it's as if they're folding towards me, but you can just see they're all facing the same direction, and then if you fold it closed, then you can do. Some people, sometimes I do it, Joe, if I got one just here, sometimes what I would do is, let's have a look. I did have a few, maybe not. I'll show you in the next one. Sometimes you can, if you want, you can have one folded one way and the other one folded the other way. That will work as well, but you don't have to. You can have them folded all the same way and it's still going to close shut just perfectly.
Fantastic. And also, M says, Craig, your accent is my favourite. There you go.
Right, thank you.
It's producer Johnny's favourite accent too, apparently. Right, I want to share with you the Tri-Blend markers because we bring you a couple of big collections, but actually these are great because these are new 6-pen configurations, and what's wonderful about these is that they're grouped together either by colour families or by project. So it means that if you wanted to do like an underwater theme, rather than buying a whole collection, you could just come in and get the one, which is fantastic. So they're $17.99 or $26.95. Although you're getting 6 pieces in here, you're actually getting 18 markers because you've got 3 colours within each one of those, which is fantastic. So this is your options. You've got here the coastal blends. You've also got the floral blends there as well. The next one we have for you is the woodland shades, those lovely sort of earthy browns along with the beautiful greens. We then have the exotic blends for you as well, which is this one just here. Beautiful portrait blends, always so popular. If you want to be doing things like your faces, this is great to allow you to do that. Jewel shades is the other one that I have, which is that one there. We've also got the natural blends for you, really lovely natural tones in there. And then finally, vintage blends as well is your final option. All of those available, of course, over on the website. Pop over there to have a look at all of them. If you've already got some of our Tri-Blend markers as well and you're unsure about whether you're going to get any duplicates, over on the website it tells you the colour codes for every single pen, which is in every box. So you can see there what you've already got and see what's in there as well. Now, the Christmas 12x12 pad, super busy on this. It's always very busy because it's great for, yeah, it's going to be amazing for your pop-up boxes, absolutely, but it is great for your regular day-to-day crafting, or day-to-day Christmas crafting, I should say, as well. It's 12x12, 180 GSM, you've got 48 sheets in here. I love the fact that some of these are quite subtle, which are brilliant, and then you've got those lovely things like the candy canes with a real pop of design and colour on them. This one, for instance, really quite muted again, but then those really lovely bursts of colour in there too. It's really fantastic for all of your Christmas crafting, but it's going to work especially brilliantly with your pop-up boxes as well. 48 pages in that one for you. We've also got an 8x8 one available as well on the show for you. This one designed more to go with your everyday pop-up boxes, and again, those themes that are within the pop-up boxes, you then have a sheet for each of them in here as well, so you can see really beautiful. The clouds work really well with the one with the castle as well. $9.99 or $14.95 if you want to go for those ones. Right, should we run you through again the Christmas ones, because I've got the boards here this time. Let me run you through those. So the snowman, very busy individually for the snowman. The snowman wasn't available initially, I don't believe, in the large collection that we bought you, or it was at the very start and then it wasn't again, and now we've put it back in, but they're all available individually as well. Remember, you can get any two across all of our pop-up boxes for £26 or $35. I think I'm right in saying as well, you can mix and match between the two different collections as well. So that's the snowman. Then let me run you back through the other ones that you've got in here. So you've also got the cottage, which is lovely. You've got that nativity scene in here. You've also got the poinsettia that you saw Craig using as well. And remember, yes, these are going to work great in your pop-up boxes. You can use them on cards, you can use them on scrapbooks. There's loads of different ways you'll be able to. In fact, even like little festive box frames, I think, that you give to people to have out at Christmas would work wonderfully. The gingerbread house, which is actually my favourite one. And then also we've got Santa and Rudolph in there as well. So they are the 6 different ones that you've got. £80 or $99. Getting them all together represents the best value for money. You'll always get the best value for money with us here at Crafters TV when you go for the larger bundles. But if you do want to get them individually, we've put them on a great price for you as well, should you want to do that. Right, everyday ones as well. Let's run you through these. I'll take you back through the lovely samples that I've got for these ones because they are absolutely gorgeous. Now in here, what you've got is that lovely underwater theme that you can see there with the mermaids, which is just absolutely gorgeous. Ocean Paradise, that one is called. My favourite is this one, and it is Once Upon a Time. I think it is just absolutely beautiful. We've got the unicorns in there, we've got the castle, we've got the damsel, I should say there. There's definitely a difference between a damson and a damsel, Joe. I believe in fairies. That one is fabulous. You guys absolutely adore that one on its own. We've then got that lovely floral one as well. I love how full and just love how exciting these projects are. People are going to absolutely love receiving them. We've got the nature themed one in there too. Again, the colourways on there are great. And the thing is, you're in control of what the colourways look like, of course, because you're going to be colouring these up. So you really can theme them if you know that someone's got a particularly favourite colour, or you want to make them more seasonal. Absolutely, these are all things that you can do with them. You've then got here as well your birthday one too, which has got all of your numbers in there, and it's going to be perfect for your milestone birthday. I think for milestone birthdays, these are definitely going to be an amazing card for you to give to people. Loads of people still commenting away. Remember, if you want to get them all together, a great value, saving over £26, over $25 there on that. Or again, you can get them individually, 2 for 26 or 35, or on their own, $14.99 or $19.95. Sondra says, I was heating up a bottle up, watching on the iPad, surfing on the iPhone, on HSN, while watching my grandson. Now that is what I call CC fever. There's a lot of multitasking going on there, Sondra. Robin saying, love this take on a Christmas card. Marie saying, good morning from Bermuda. Good morning, Marie. Oh, I bet it's lovely and sunny in Bermuda today. Betsy says, thank you, Craig. You are a fabulous teacher. Loads of other questions coming in. If you've got anything you want to know about anything in the show, absolutely let us know. Pictures as well. We love it when you send your pictures, and you've been sending them in your drives already this morning. Keep sending them in to us because we love receiving them. Hannah Horn sent these ones in. Oh, I love that. This is a prime example where as well we talk about not only using the stamps and dies that are designed to go with your pop-up boxes, but also using them as a bit of a stash rediscoverer, getting other smaller dies and sentiments and stamps in that would go beautifully with them. This one's from Diane. I love that Diane's used a sentiment stamp die there on the front of that one. We've got those on the show. We'll share those with you a little bit later. That's gorgeous, Craig, isn't it?
I love all of these ones, yeah, and exactly just to reiterate what you just said there as well, certainly with Hannah's as well. Anything that you've got at home, so yeah, it could be stamps or it could be dies, but if you've got any little characters, any little flowers, anything like that would fit in a pop-up environment or area like the pop-up box, then yeah, absolutely, why not include them? They're going to look super, super cool.
Yeah, they are.
Absolutely.
And great, again, vice versa. If you want to use these stamps and dies in other areas of your crafting, also brilliant to allow you to do that. Something that's really busy, a lot of you have gone through it already this morning, is the guillotine. I know Craig wouldn't be without his guillotine. You've got 20% off on this one, which is great. So it should be $24.99 or $34.95 over today, $19.99 or $27.96. It's great for all of your different mats and layers, and it's also a scoreboard. What do you love about this one, Craig? Because I know you love these, don't you? The small one and the large one. I do, absolutely. And actually, do you know what? Sorry, Johnny, but I'm going to take this opportunity to just show you why I love my guillotine. So let's do a side swerve, so to speak. Because I do get many people asking and say, Craig, how do you do your mats and layers? Because I say,
I like my mats and layers, and I get them quite even. So yeah, there's mats and layers dies out there, but if you want to have them to the size that you want, it's my guillotine that I use, and I rely on all the score lines. So just quickly, with the guillotine, you've got your guillotine, you've got it so that it actually has a score tool at the top, so yours will come with a score tool. You've got all these grids, so you've got them in inches as well as centimetres, you've got them at the bottom as well. You've got your finger guard, and then you've got, I love the sound that the guillotine gives you. And with the guillotine, when Leanne went and sourced how she was going to get it made, instead of going to a paper trimmer manufacturer, she went to a sword manufacturer. So it's from a sword manufacturer that the actual guillotine arm is made from. But like I say, you get the finger guard as well. So the mats and layers, this is where let's take a black layer for instance. So let's pop it to 6 inches. So I just pop it to the 6 inches that we can just and no more see there. It is 1/4 inch increments. So I've got it lined up to the 6 inch, and then I just cut. And then all that I'm just doing, if I turn that around again to the 6 inch again, just where my pinky is, and then cut. So that gives me my perfect square matting and layer. So then let's bring in a white layer for you to see. So as you hear me say many a times, most of my mats and layers are 1/4 inch increment. So I want to come down a size. So that's 6 inches. So I'll come down 1/4. So this is then going to be 5 3/4. So exactly the same, we'll go to 5 3/4 for this one, and cut, and then turn it around, 5 3/4 and cut, and then that gives us a perfect square. And then if we pop that within the middle, that gives you your perfect square matting and layering. And then let's bring in another layer, but let's do bit of a different shape. So let's go for 4 inches. So I'm up to the 4. Actually, let's do 4 3/4. No, we won't. 3 3/4. And then we will do 4 3/4. So we've got different shape. So then because that one was 3 3/4, that's going to come to 3 1/2.
Oh, I tell you
Just
what,
there.
I feel like you're like Carol Vorderman this morning with all these numbers, Craig.
I'm throwing myself, Joe, for a Sunday
I'll have
morning.
3 from the top and 4 from the bottom, please, Carol. If you don't know what we're talking about, Countdown is a show here. It's like a numbers, maths problem-based show. That's what watching Craig work with the guillotines like. I'm very impressed, Craig.
Well, thank you. But thankfully, when it comes to the guillotine, I've got the measurements there. I just need to remember what measurement I cut to. So then this layer, because this one is 4 3/4, I'm coming down 1/4 inch. So it is now 4 1/2. Then cut. So then that's going to give us our perfect matting layer that way. So this is how I do mine, 1/4 inch increments most of the time. Alternatively, obviously you can do any. So if I come down another 1/4, so that's us coming down 1/2 inch and then cut. So it gives us a bigger matting layer for the background. So that is how, when it comes to all my layers, all my cutting, it's always done on the guillotine just there. So,
fantastic. Very busy for that. If you want to get it, definitely get it. Well, it's got the 20% saving. It doesn't happen all the time. It's great to have it with the saving. Couple more questions coming in, Craig.
Yes.
Shadai is saying about the... it's a question about the brush nib tri-blends. Lots of excitement about that. The nibs are different. Are the colours different? I think I'm right in saying, Craig, that the colours are the same. I don't know if you know any differently to that.
I don't know. I've seen them just briefly before we went on air. I don't actually know much about them at the moment. I'll be looking at them and working out all the info on them this week. So I am, like Joe says, I do believe it's the same colours, but obviously with the new brush nib. Yes. I can't wait to have a good play with them.
No, they do look amazing. Hannah says, love this paper pad. Bought 3 already. They're so pretty. You're not alone there, Hannah. Loads of people loving the paper pad. Snooze you lose, y'all. Sonia says, good morning, y'all. I'm just managing to get up. I think you might have missed a little bit of the show, but we will let you off, Sonia. Don't you worry. And Michelle says, I love seeing how crafters use the dies and the stamps from the boxes to supplement other kinds of crafts. Absolutely. If you've got other things that you've made using these stamps and dies, we would still love to see those. Very busy now, though, across both of the collections. What do you fancy guiding us through next then, Craig?
So we are going to be using what I would say is all occasions. So you could be using this obviously for birthdays and celebrations. But again, what we'll do is, I've already got a box already made up to go. I do want to show you another box and how you can make it longer, if obviously longer or taller. So we'll show you that one. And then at least within this show, we've showed you the 2 different ways in which you can create them. So we've got our A4 cardstock or letter size. So I'm just going to bring in the die again. And then this time, what I'm going to do is the actual cutting edge, the top cutting edge, I'm going to pop that towards the top, just there. Now what I would do, and I would always say, cut them both individually, so you'll always get that nice, crisp, clean cut every time. But for speed, and because we've got the power of the Gemini, I am just going to do the 2 layers at once, just so that I can show you how you can then determine how tall you want to make your box. So this is when, obviously, you're making a taller box, you need your large Gemini. Obviously, we use the Gemini because it's ours, and, you know, I'm not being biased, but it's the best out there. You can use any other die cutting machine that takes your wafer thin dies. Again, the only thing that would determine the size that you need to use is the size of the pop-up box you want to make. So let's take all our layers out. So let's just take all that out. We don't need that bit and we don't need that bit. So as you will see, each of these layers, these come just with these parts here, so we can just chop them ones off. So I'm going to roughly chop them off, and then what I'm going to do is bring in, again, you could use, we've just used the guillotine, you could be using that one, but all that I'm going to do is just continue in that edge all the way down. I'm just going to use my craft knife and my ruler, and we're just going to go all the way down just to get rid of that part. And then if I turn that around, and again, this part here where you can see it is the tab, we're just going to continue that bit all the way down, and we're going to get rid of that bit. So if we then cut all the way, and we are popping that out the way. So now what we can do is if we bring in our Ultimate Pro, our Scoremaster, our scoreboard, this is where at the edge or the center of the pop-up, you've got that score line, and you've also got the other one just here that creates the wee tab. So all that you want to do is just continue that score line all the way down. So if we bring in our scoring tool, so I'm just going to work that out. So that is on this one. So I'm just following that line just with my eye, just so I know which way that we're going, which is there. So scoring all the way down, so that's one end. And then on this one, let's just move that along slightly. So again, I'm just scoring all the way down. So then this is when you can see it starts to become like the pop-up box. So you would do this twice. So you can see that's how the original one looked. You can see you've got your pop-up box there. So all that you would then do is come along with the second one. I know I've done it, but for its speed, we won't assemble it. So you would just have your second one. Then to determine how tall that you want it, this is where, so all I'm just going to do is open it up. So there is the top of your pop-up box. So let's just bring in the guillotine. So let's bring this one in. So for this one, if we then say we want it to be 6 inches tall, all that we would do is just pop this in our guillotine, and then we would just line this top part here, top part of your pop-up box, up against the 6 inches. You might want to make it 6 1/4 or 6 1/2. Let's do 6 1/2 up to the end, and then cut. And then that there, again, keeping in mind where you'd have 2 of them, but then this is where your pop-up box is going to be, you'd have your back bit as well, it's going to be 6 inches in height. If you want to make it longer, then that's all that you do, just make it longer. So that's how you can determine how tall you want it to be, just by having a play. But it could be, you know, your 1/4 of an inch increments if you want. You can do even more random sizes if you want. It's entirely up to yourself.
A lot of tape, lot of still question. M asks as well, Craig, what tape does Craig use for the dies? I'm guessing that's, I mean, you mean to tape the dies down. Is it just our own low-tack tape, Craig?
It is. It's just our low-tack tape. I presume it will be on the website. It always comes in packs of 3. So that's just our low-tack tape. We use that just to hold down the dies to keep in place as we're running them through the Gemini.
Wonderful. Sam says she loves her guillotine. Lots of love for that guillotine. Geneva says, it's not daylight yet here in Alabama, but I love the quiet time to watch the show. Some people like doing that. Some people get up early, don't they? So they, I know friends of mine that have children, their children get up at like 7:30, so they make sure they get up at 6:30 just so they get an hour's peace and quiet.
Yeah, I've got a couple of friends that do that as well. They do. So what?
I'm not getting up early for anyone or anything, Craig, me.
So it's maybe different when you've got kids, isn't it? You know, you just want that wee bit of peace and quiet. So what I've just done, Joe, is I've just taken a couple of strips again, and using that panel die that goes within the middle, I've just die cut 3 of them. And what I've just done is I've just used my tape for this one, and I'm going to do exactly what we've done earlier on. So I've started to decorate my pop-up box using the papers. So I'm just going to pop these ones in. So I'm just going to do exactly what I done on the last one. I'm just holding it into place, and then I'm just folding it in. So now actually I can show you what I was meaning earlier on about folding the folds at different parts. So on these ones here, I've just folded them the same way, so you can see that one there. So the tab is facing up there as well as there. You can, if you want, fold them that way. So you've got one tab facing up and one tab facing down, and then that would just also allow you to close it in a certain way. But as you've seen from that last one and this one, I just have my tabs facing the right way and it still closes, no problem at all. So let's pop this one in just into the middle. And then what we're going to do for this one, we're going to use Once Upon a Time. So this is going to be very girly for this one.
It's my favourite one, Craig.
Yeah, not surprised. I think, you know, because you can have lots of sparkles.
I love a bit of sparkle, me, Craig, love it.
Because you can add sparkles.
If you got a spray and shine last week, that would look great, wouldn't it?
That would look really good. That would look really, really good, absolutely. So then we'll start to get the pop-up bars in the middle. So then what we can do is let's bringing in some of our Nina again. Let's bring in our stamping mat. And then we're just going to bring in our ink pad as well as our stamping plate. So bringing in our die set. So once again, with all of these, you always get the stamps and you also get the dies to go with them. So let's open this one just here, if we can get that in. Stuck with my tape. So let's take the stamp set. So you can see from the stamps, we've got the castle, we've got the unicorn. You know, it could be a horse if you chopped off the unicorn. Is that what is that called?
Are you implying that a unicorn is just a horse with a horn on it?
No, of course not. But if you, you know, if you wanted to make it a horse, then you could do. I know. So you've got obviously the cart, Cinderella's cart. Not good with these names, am I?
Her cart,
the fairy.
you mean her carriage, her glass carriage.
Well, I don't know.
Her cart. Like you're pushing her around in Morrison's or something.
Maybe. So my tape is stuck right into my packaging. Here we go. That's it. So because we've got the dice to go with it. So we've got the fairy, you know, it could be the princess, you know, we've got the carriage, we've got the unicorn, the castle, we've got some extra rainbows and plants and flowers and hearts. So you've got all that to decorate as well. So what we can do is let's bring in the unicorn. And we'll also let's do the rainbow as well. And we'll use our tri-blend pens. So I'm just going to pop these ones on, we'll stamp them at the same time. Bringing in our alcohol proof. So if you are going to use maybe your aqua pens, sparkle pens or sparkle pots, then you could then bring in your watercolour card and start to use them. Just bring in your watercoloured ink pad for that one. So I'm just going to stamp these ones out. So if we stamp all of these, and then you can see.
Could you heat emboss these if you wanted to, and then cut them out with a die, Craig?
Of course you can, yeah. Or you could still die cut and then stamp and heat emboss if you wanted to. Yeah, okay. You can do. So what I've just done is we have got our unicorn. So let's just bring in just a bit of cardstock just underneath. So what I'm just going to do is let's bring in our tri-blend pens. Let's go for a bit of bright pink. And let's go for ice grey blend.
This is sounding more and more fabulous, Craig. If you want to get it on its own, the Once Upon a Time, it's there on the screen for you, $14.99 or $19.95. You can get any two of them for £26 or $35, and that mix and match works over both the Christmas ones and the everyday ones, so it's completely up to you.
So let's go and start to colour in the unicorn. So for the actual unicorn, because I would class it as being white, you know, you can leave it white if you want, or what you can do is start to just add a bit of light grey. Now that's what I want to, or I usually do, if you want to colour in, you know, obviously the unicorn, maybe a snowman or anything that's along the lines of being white. So I'm just taking my ice grey blend, and then all that I'm just going to do is go to the lightest end, and then all that I'm just going to do is just kind of just underneath the detail of the unicorn, and then I'm just going to go around just its body. Now you can just one straight line if you want. All that I'm just doing is I'm just tapping, so just add in just that wee bit of ink. I'm just tapping it down, so just going around kind of all the main areas. You don't have to worry about where there would be shade, where there wouldn't be shade, because you don't have to use the Tri-Blend pens in the way that they're intended. In other words, the blending. You can just use them as standalone if you want. So let's just add a bit of grey all the way around.
Are you just like dotting there, or are you running it along?
No, just a few dots. If you want to just run it along, you can do. But all that I'm just doing is just a few dots. I'm not being precise either. You know, if I miss wee bits, that's fine. It just, as the alcohol starts to evaporate, it just gives it's a bit of a nice glow all the way around. So we're just dabbing it all the way around again, just in any of these areas, maybe even under the eye. So even before I start to colour that, and even from up above there, you can see that. See how you just getting that slight shadow all the way around the unicorn's body? There, we'll go for tip it that way. So that's a nice way of, if you want something to be white, but you still want to have a bit of definition, then you can be doing that. So let's go for the bright pink blend. So we're going to use the three of them. So you've got the light, you've got the dark, and then you've got the medium within the middle. So let's just look at the main. So all that I'm just going to do for this one, I'm going to start, so I'm going to have the lightest tone towards the unicorn's body. So I'm just going to go, just like I would do with that poinsettia or any of the other ways, I'm just keeping the lightest tone towards the body, because then I'm going to flip to the dark side. There's a joke in that one.
Sounds a bit ominous, doesn't it?
I'm flipping over to the dark side, and then I'm just going to add a bit of darkness all the way around just there. Again, putting that light tone down first just kind of gives it a bit of, kind of like priming your cardstock. And then I'm going to then go to the mid, and then I'm just going to blend those two together. So the light as well as the dark, just over. I'm just literally just going over where the dark meets the light. If you want lots more tutorials and step-by-step and information, always the best place to go is across on our YouTube, because sad to say, but there's so much with Leanne, the queen of colouring and Spectrum Noir.
Yeah, absolutely, and also go back and watch. There's been quite a few Tri-Blend marker Colour Me Happy shows as well, so definitely go back and watch some of those back as well. You'll pick up loads of hints and tips there. And if you love colouring or love the idea of it, maybe you're new to the idea of colouring, then join us every Friday, 4 p.m. in the UK, 11 a.m. on the East Coast, for our destination colouring show every week, which is fantastic. I think, is it the new Tri-Blend this week coming up? I'm not sure. I know Derek's here for it, but I will have a check what's coming up this week. I think it might be those new Tri-Blends, so you'll definitely be wanting to tune in for those. I love the blues and the pinks together, Craig. What a great colour combo.
It's nice. It's just to actually add a bit of rainbow colour to the unicorn, because what I'm away to do is I'm away to mix up the colours. So we've got a bit of blue, and then just while I'm here, just because I've got the rainbow here, let's also start to do the rainbow at the same time. I'm not doing the rainbow in the traditional rainbow song colours. We can just go all rogue. So while I'm doing a colour at a time, so I've done one length of the tail. Let's even just do the unicorn and then the rainbow, and then let's bring in a green. So let's go for, in this one, let's go for the mid. So I'm using the dull green blend, but I'm going to go for the mid tone. So then let's just colour in the next one. We do have brighter greens as well in the Tri-Blends if you want to use them. Wonderful. So let's just colour this one in. I'm just going to do the same again. Yep. So I've done one bit of the tail, I'll do the unicorn, and then I'll do the rainbow, and I'll just do the next colour.
Wonderful. Marie is commenting away. She says, Joe, I meant to tell you, you've got another super fan in your club. My sister loves you. Every time I'm watching CCTV, she hears your voice and she says, that's my boy Joe. I'll take that, Marie. Thank you very much. Sandra says, good morning from Las Vegas. It's 4:40. I enjoy watching Craig and Joe. Just bought the Christmas credit card collection this weekend. Love my credit card dies. Looking forward to playing with them. Geneva says, that was from Alabama. Who else we got here? Christine says, rise and shine. It's masterclass time. Good morning from Altoona, Pennsylvania. Good morning to you, Christine. Who else we got tuning in? Chidai saying, Craig may have to design you one of these with a tag, Joe, for our Prince, lover of the tags. I tell you what, all compliments coming in today, Craig, aren't they?
There's loads.
It's my first day back, and I won't have a day off if I get this many compliments every day. Robbie says, I love doing the pop-up boxes, and CC makes it fun with all the stamps and dies made for it. I love taking other stamps and dies as well and incorporating those into my pop-up boxes. That's looking beautiful, Craig.
There we go. So I'm just going to leave it as it is. So I like to have that unicorn so it's white, but then I'm just going to try and there we go. See how we've got that? It's kind of like that glow of the grey just coming around the inside of the unicorn's body. So it's just to add a wee bit of extra definition to it without going on full on colour. So then what we can do is let's move that one out the way. So let's die cut these two out. I've got a load of them that I've got coloured and die cut. But again, we'll just show you, maybe you're just tuning in. So we have got the unicorn here. And
will all these go through your Mini, Craig?
They will. I was looking at the side earlier on. They will all go through the Mini. Yeah.
Fantastic.
So as well, if we take this one, could you imagine just using that outline of the unicorn to create maybe the aperture for a shaker card? So you've got obviously that halo of the unicorn, and you can have sparkly shaker elements within the middle of your cardstock. That would be good. So again, you don't just have to use them for the pop-up box itself.
I think that would look beautiful, like enamelled afterwards, Craig.
Yes, it would do, wouldn't it? Mm. Maybe coat the whole lot in your sparkle pens as well. That would look nice.
Absolutely gorgeous. All the overlay as well would look beautiful on that. Loads of people still commenting away. Any tips for Diane? Diane says, my inside panels always go wonky donkey. Is there any notches to show where to put them, or any tips I could do to keep them straight? Thanks, Diane.
Yes, you've got your embossed parts that I had showed you on each time. So within the actual pop-up box, got one just to the side of me, just here. If I bring this one in, so on the inside, you've got your 3 embossed lines. So that shows you, so if I tip it, that'll tell you what, if I fold it that way, and then you can just see them, there we go, you've got your 3 embossed lines just there. So then all that you would then just do is, I know this one isn't die cut, but if we just pretend, so once you've got your panel and you've folded over, then all that you're just going to do is you're just going to match that just upside, that's bad way of showing it, there we go, that way. So just up against that score line, and that's what's going to keep it straight. So you know you're going to get it straight every single time.
Wonderful, thank you for that, Craig. Betsy says, you guys cracking me up this morning. That's always the aim, Betsy. I'm glad you're enjoying the show. Angela's saying as well, I love these pop-up boxes. I really need to use them more often. Craig, you've inspired me to use both my Christmas and my everyday ones today. That's what we aim to do. It's the whole point. We're here to inspire you to create every day. Suzanne says, thank you, Craig. You have saved the stress I put on myself cutting the dies or the side slits and putting them through. Hooray. Here I go to make them all up. I have all the parts and characters. My grandkids are going to be so excited. And Susan says, good morning from Glendale, Arizona. You two will always put a smile on my face this early in the morning. And M saying, everything needs glitter. That was an interesting one then, Craig. Suzanne there, I think implying that she thought you had to put the bars through the embossed marks. Is that what she meant?
I think so, yeah. I think when we first released them, I think the all occasion ones, I think in a couple of Sarah's demos, Sarah cut through them just to show that you can cut through them and pop them through that way. The reason we didn't put the cut lines in place is not everyone would want to do that. So we thought, well, if we put the embossed line, you've got your 2 options. You can either fold them and stick them against the embossed line, or if you wanted to, you can put a wee cut mark with your craft knife and then feed them through. So then that way it's kind of the best of both worlds. So fantastic. Yeah, but no, you don't have to cut through if you don't want to.
Wonderful. So yeah, just stick them on there if you want. Beatrice also saying, what was the last colour you used on that unicorn, Craig? Is it the red one?
So it was the red, yeah. So altogether I used ice grey, I used dark red, I used citrus, I used dull green, I used true blue, and then bright pink that was the colours that I used in total. And then if I bring in all these ones that I'd already done, so if I bring a couple of these, so the carriage, I've actually just popped on a bit of acetate, you can see there. So that's just a strip of acetate, the strong acetate. So let's just bring in the castle as well. We've got all these wee bits, and I've even got a rainbow that is also on a piece of acetate. So let's bring these bits in, and then again we can just start to have some fun, start to assemble this. You can do them in any different configuration, any different colour that you want. It's entirely up to yourself. So then what I'm just going to do is for this one, so we'll just use our tape runner again for speed. I would tend to use my red liner tape. So all that I'm going to do is let's bring in the castle. So just maybe about halfway down the acetate, I'm just popping some adhesive, and then I'm going to pop it right to the back one. So I'm just going behind this third panel just here, and then all that I'm just going to do is if I pop it that side and just have it so that the castle is just popping out, hence the name Pop Up, and then we've got that one just there.
It reminds me of something at Castle. Is it Camelot it reminds me of, or am I thinking of something completely different? Director Daniel was like Barnard Castle in our ears. I think he means Barnard Castle, but is there actually a castle in Barnard Castle? I thought there wasn't a castle in Barnard Castle. Ruined. It's been ruined.
So I've just popped the carriage at that side just there, and then all that I'm just going to do is I've got another bit of acetate on top of the rainbow just there, and what you can do is you can actually add on top. So we've got the carriage just here, and then I'm even going to pop the rainbow on top just there, so we're even making it bigger as well. So then let's bring in our princess. So we've got the princess, and she's just going to go just within the middle, so in between the middle two. And then let's bring in our unicorn. So if we bring the unicorn, and then what I'm going to do is pop it so he or she is just trotting, could be galloping along the front. You can see just there, and then I've popped it to the front of the bar so you can still see his or her feet. And then what I'm going to do is let's bring in a couple of these wee plants. So I'm going to pop some adhesive on the back, so we can pop these ones on and pop these ones on, and then we've got a few other key elements. So we've got some hearts as well as additional rainbows, so you can see how that's starting to come to life. And then just on the side here, so if I take another couple of these ones just here, and then all that I'm going to do is I'm just going to add them just to the side, just one there. Let's add a heart just at a bit of an angle, so we can pop that one there. Let's do the same on this side. Let's actually use the actual rainbow, so we can pop that one just there, and then we'll also just pop another heart just there. And then what I'm going to do for the very front of it, if I bring in, if you have got your hands on, maybe you're getting it today, the bow die. So what I've just done is I have, let's show you the die if you've not seen it before. So you get that outline die and you get the detail as well. So you can make two different styles of bow. You can make a nice decorative detailed one with all of that detail there. Or what you can do is you can then just make plain ones, so without any detail. So I've just used our Pink Centura Pearl. This is from the Trends collection, if you got hold of that one. So these are the 3 die cut parts. So all that I'm going to do just to assemble it is if I take the actual bow, then I'm going to bring in my pokey tool. So just to start to shape it. So all that I'm just doing, I like to just hold the center just to stable it. And then I'm just using my pokey tool, or it could be the back of your scissors. And I'm just going back and forwards just to add a bit of shape. So just working its way around, just manipulating it. And you can start to curve it. And then once we've started to get it, so it's a nice curve, all that I'm then just going to do is if I just add just a bit of adhesive into the center, so I would usually use a wet glue again, just to hold it all into place. So then all that I'm just going to do is pop one bit down and pop the other bit down, just so they meet within the middle, just there. And then on the other side, what I'm going to do is add some adhesive. And then what I'm going to do is pop the wee strip that you've got just here. So you've got the wee strip, and then all that's going to do is that's just going to wrap around. So that's just going to finish off the center part, make it really nice and even. Come along with maybe your scoreboard or something and just score a few wee lines. But that's just going to then wrap round. Again, let's just add a bit of adhesive just to close it. And then what we can do, another bit of adhesive on the back, bringing in the wee tabs at the bottom, and then that can then just sit over the top. So we've created a nice 3D bow without any detail, although you do have the dies to create the detail. And then all that we're going to do again, let's just add some adhesive onto the back, bringing in our pop-up, and then all that we're just going to do is just pop that within the middle, and we're going to press that into place. You could add a sentiment if you want, but what little girl, you know, maybe a little boy would want that as well, maybe change the colours as well, but who wouldn't love a pop-up box like that?
Really
Add
beautiful.
even more if you wanted.
Yeah, that bow as well really finishes it off. Could you cut that bow in something like vellum or acetate if you wanted to, Craig?
Absolutely, that would look absolutely gorgeous. Maybe even if you've got printable acetate, print a design on the acetate and then cut that one out, that would look good as well. Have a wee play and see what else that you can cut out.
Oh, fantastic. Loads that you're going to be able to do with these, which is really important. The versatility is amazing. Jane Quigley saying you could cut these and use them as a mobile for over the top of a cot. What a great way of using them. Pam Craven, the lovely Pam Craven, suggesting you could use them for diorama cards as well. They'd work great for that. Sam saying that she likes to bring in and also incorporate her staycation stamps and dies with her pop-up boxes. Another great way of using them. Diane saying hi from Tennessee. Amalia says, having a play with my Christmas pop-up stamp and dies at the moment whilst watching. First time having a go, taking my time, just trying to stay up and watch these dynamic duos. It must be very late. Yeah, what's the time then in Hawaii? It's now in the West Coast. It must be like, what, 20 past 1 in the morning in Hawaii, I'm guessing, something like that. It's crazy, isn't it? Because we go from like Malia, who's in Hawaii, and then all the way over, right the way around the other side of the world, to Sarah in Melbourne, who's like, I couldn't even tell you what time it is there. I think it's like almost the same time, but the day before. It's bonkers. Right, should we recap everything you've seen on the show so far? Right, the Gemini Christmas pop-up box stamp and die collection. This one's got the snowman included in here as well. I know a lot of the time we haven't been able to include that snowman. This time we have £80 or $99. If you want to get them individually, absolutely, you're more than welcome to. They're $14.99 in the UK or $19.95 in the US. Two of them for £26 or $35, and you can mix and match between the Christmas ones and the everyday ones, like the one Craig just showed you a moment ago. We've also got the 12 by 12, which works beautifully with the Christmas pop-up boxes. You can just use this with all of your sort of general Christmas crafting as well, would be my suggestion. £12.99 in the UK or $19.99 if you are in the US. Right, we've got the Gemini Everyday Pop-Up Box Stamp and Die Collection. This is a 7-piece collection, this one, which means that value is getting even better. £78 if you're in the UK. You can't spend dollars in the UK. I've tried, doesn't work. Or $104 if you are in the US, saving you £26 or $25. There is an 8x8 paper pad which would work beautifully with your everyday pop-up boxes. 48 sheets, 180 GSM, really versatile that. $9.99 or $14.95 if you want to get a hold of that one. If you're making pop-up boxes with or without any of these stamps and dies we've shown you today in this masterclass, you're going to need this one. It is your Gemini Dimensions pop-up box based die. This is that worker die for you. It does all the cutting, it does all the scoring, and you make sure you get a precise, even result every single time. You're never going to have wobbly boxes that fall over. $24.99 or $39.95 if you want to get hold of that one. The bow is also available for you, £8 or $14 to get this. It just finishes it off beautifully. You've got the mat and the layer there as well, so if you want to put that intricate detail over the top, I think it looks great with or without. You've got the option of adding that £8 or $14 there for that. Right, we've also got some of our fancy font stamp and dies for you on the show today as well. There's a whole host of different ones on the website. You've got thanks, there's birthday, celebrate, sympathy, happy. Go and have a look on the website. They're all there. You get 3 for £15 or $20 across like 12 different options. So do go and check those out. Individually, they're $5.99 or $7.95 if you want to get them. Right, I just want to recap again the 12 by 12. I'm just looking at what that is. I think it's chocolate chips. I'm just looking at one of the papers in here. Lovely elements in here. You've got the holly in there, which is great. Got some lovely starry backgrounds. Great because you've got some backgrounds and then you've got some more striking ones. I love that one. I think it's absolutely beautiful. In here, you've got 48 pages, 12 by 12, 180 GSM. So really fantastic to work with those Christmas pop-up boxes. But as I said earlier, great for all of your general Christmas cards. Is that one there? That looks like chocolate chips to me. What does it look like to you?
It does actually, doesn't it? Yeah.
I think it must be chocolate
Yeah, I
chips.
think it must be.
Or maybe gingerbread. $12.99 or $19.99. I can see some of you actually multi-ordering on that one at the moment. Let me share with you the 8x8 too, because that is what's going to go with your everyday boxes. This is just a really great usable everyday paper pad though, to be fair. And if you wanted to, you know, if you make a lot of 8x8 cards, you could just pop that on the front of an 8x8 card, sentiment, and you're pretty much ready to go. $9.99 or $14.95 if you want to get your hands on that one there. We talked about it as well, didn't we? That the worker die, as we call it, which is this is the die that's doing all the work for you. So what it's doing is cutting the box, then it's going to cut those panels, not the panels, what are we calling these? I was about to call them joists. That's not what they're called. What are we calling these bits, Craig?
The
These bits that stick on the inside.
oh gosh, oh, mine's gone black. You wouldn't think I've just done 2 demos, would you?
We called them, you had a really great word for them earlier and now we've forgotten it. Someone will let us know in the comments. People are good like that, Craig. You get cut the outside. You get it to cut these little bits on the inside. You also get as well the die to cut your mats for the front of the box, your layers I should say, and that's great because it means that if you're using pattern papers you get something really neat there. But then you've also got the tags. Now I think the tags would work great on the front as a matte layer for a sentiment, or of course you can actually use them as a tag and attach it to it separately. That's the little bit that I was talking about, this little bit just here. I'm not sure, I can't believe the words, we've both lost the word, Craig. Tab. That's the word. Tab. There we go. Thanks for that, Johnny. $24.99 and $39.95. Johnny brought that answer to us with a lot of help from Google, I reckon. So make sure you've got that one, because if you want to make pop-up dies, you're going to need that one to be able to make those pop-up boxes. Oh, Sweet Imp says, Joe, have you found out anything about the new gadget coming for the Gemini in October? I have. But I can't tell you, I'm sorry. Michelle says, Craig, have you ever made multi-boxes glued together and filled to make a centrepiece?
No, I've not. I've never tried doing that one together. That's something worthwhile doing. It'd be interesting to see if you make something like that. Make sure you share it and see how it comes together.
All right, fantastic. Mitch saying, I do my best crafting at night. Janine wants to know, can the bow die... Let me try that again. Because in my head, my brain wants to say bow tie, but it's bow die. Can the bow die cut material, please? Interesting.
So if you use the outside die, yeah, that's going to die cut your material, no problem, because it's a nice solid outside edge. The detail within the die might be a bit tricky. You could actually try it if maybe you've got some of that backing, that fabric spray, you know, just to stabilise it. I would be doubtful, but definitely, yeah, the outside die, the way that I just used it a moment ago, that'll cut fabric, no problem.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're really struggling, then yeah, as Craig said, try a bit of stabiliser on there, maybe one piece at a time, and see how you get on. Right, Craig, I know we've got about 30 minutes left on this masterclass. I know you've got at least one more thing you want to squeeze in, haven't you? So I'm going to hand back to Craig. Any questions that you've got between now and the rest of the show, any pictures that you've got that you want to share with us, keep sending those in because we love receiving them. studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk is where you need to send them into. But it's very, very busy. Right, what's next? Is that some craft card I spy over there?
It is, yeah. We're going to use the Christmas one again. We're going to use Away in a Manger, and we're going to use craft card just to show you a different look and take onto it. So what I've just done is I've already die cut the box. I've got the 2 of them, so I'm just going to assemble them. So anyone wondering, top to bottom, it is 6 inches, this one. So all that I'm just going to do is I'm just going to tape them together, and then we're going to fold that one over and tape that one. So this one would look really good if you use any, maybe like your ivory cards. Again, if you use gold, that would look really nice too. But if I fold the front and the 2 sides, that will then start to create the pop-up box part. So you can see that's coming together just nicely. So then let's bring in another few tabs that I've already die cut just there. So I've done the 3 of them. Again, I've just used them in craft card again. So let's just fold all these parts over. We're just going to use our tape runner just to add adhesive on each side. So within these demos and pretty much most of all the samples and that, the 3 tabs have been used. You know, as I said earlier on, you could incorporate a few others if you want. You don't have to use the 3 of them. If you maybe wanted to just use 2 of them, then why not just use 2? It's entirely up to yourself. But all that I'm just doing is the fold of each tab. Again, I'm just matching it just up to the embossed line on the inside. I'm just turning it. I know it's going to be hard to see because it's dark in the shadow, but just the fold line, it's just matching up to that score line. So then again, if I just pop that one into place, so I'm just going to press just with my fingers and my thumb, popping it all in, and then we're just going to hold that so it's in place in situ, and then it's going to be nice and strong for us to actually add our details on. Now this is one that maybe it would be good if you've got our nativity collection, if maybe you wanted to add a few of the nativity elements. I know there's some nice small stamps and dies that you could then incorporate and just pop them within your pop-up box. But I'm just going to tape that one there, and then again on this one just here, let's tape that one on. And then that one gives us a pop-up box.
I guess the thing is we bring a lot of stamps and dies, don't we?
We do.
Something that we do is especially well. And the great thing is that if you've got stamps and dies, chances are, if they're of the right size, they're going to work beautifully on your pop-up boxes. So yes, you're getting something you can make something with immediately, but I definitely think it is one of those styles of crafting. If you've gone for the worker box, that you will start diving into your stash and you'll find things and pull things out that maybe you hadn't used for a while. Maybe you use them a lot in your card making and your scrapbooking, and you kind of were done with them, because that's how it goes, isn't it? For a lot of things, Craig, you go through like fits and starts with stuff, but this might be a great opportunity for you to get those things out and start rediscovering them. Whether you're going for the stamps and dies on the show, whether you're going just for the box making die itself, it's going to enable you to do absolutely loads of stuff, which is fantastic. I love craft card at Christmas, Craig, as well. I think it's got a real lovely sort of organic feel to it.
It does, it really does. And just maybe adding a layer of gold, or like you said, gold embossing powder, something like that would look really nice as well. But one of the other ranges that would work really well with the pop-up boxes is if you got the die set. You know when we first brought out the Gemini Mini, we had all these small die sets to work through. If you wanted to use them and incorporate them into your pop-up box, that would look really nice as well. Maybe using the components within the stamp and die set, or just using the dies from the Mini on their own. It's entirely up to yourself. Like you say, just go through your stash, have a wee look, see what you've got, think what would look quite nice as a pop-up element. But then I'm just taking the decorative papers and I've just die cut a few, you can see just here. So I'm just adding these ones on, and then we're going to bring in our stamp and dies. We're just going to start to decorate it, and it's going to be a completely different look by the colours that we are using. So I'm just going to pop them along the front as well. So if I pop that one just there. So we're just going to add that one to the back. Last one for the panel. But as you can see, the dies do all the matching layers for you. If you want to make the layers thinner or thicker, then yep, just use your guillotine, do your own matching layers. It's entirely up to yourself. But let's just press them into place. So then that gives us a pop-up box. So what we're going to do is just bring in our stamping mat, and then I'm just going to bring a piece of the Nina in again. So let's just bring in our stamping platform, and then let's just bring in a couple of these ones. So what we're going to do is, if I pop Mary, Joseph, and let's see, baby Jesus, let's bring in the donkey. See, I can't look or think of a donkey without thinking of Shrek.
Oh, so I was just doing exactly the same thing in my head,
Donkey.
Craig. Yeah, I think is it? Do they say it was a Scottish accent in this show as well? So I think that's why
Well,
you
Shrek's,
saying
Shrek's Scottish.
Shrek's Scottish. Okay,
Yeah.
so you saying donkey in a Scottish accent is making me think of who voices Shrek.
Is it Austin Powers guy? Mike
Myers, is
not
that what it
Michael
is?
Myers. Michael Myers is Halloween, isn't he? Yeah.
Who's? He is a Myers though, I'm sure, isn't he?
Yeah, Mike Myers.
Oh, not Michael Myers.
No, Michael Myers is the Halloween
Right,
spooky
okay.
guy.
My film knowledge is very, very limited. You know, I have a very short attention span, Craig. I think that's why I don't watch so many films. I just get a bit fidgety, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But that is looking beautiful. He's very traditional, this donkey, but maybe you could colour him up, make him a bit alternative if you wanted to.
Of course you could. You could, maybe use greys if you wanted to, even blacks, maybe dark browns. I'm going to use one of the lighter tones of browns within this one here. So let's just colour in, we'll just do the donkey because I've got some already coloured and die cut. So I'm just going to go Oh, I did not
So
know
we're
that.
talking about. So it was very traditional when here in the UK, if you go to the seaside, to a seaside resort, or to the beach as you might call it in the States, there's a lot of things that happen at the seaside that don't happen anywhere else, isn't there, Craig? So we have Punch and Judy shows at the seaside, which is this like puppet show, which is oddly aggressive for something that is aimed at like maybe sort of 4 to 8 year olds. It is for, and there's a few very it's a bone of contention for a lot of forward-thinking folk, maybe Punch and Judy. So we have that. We also have donkey rides along the beach. I thought donkey rides along the beach were finished. They are no more. But Johnny tells me, apparently in Blackpool, you can have a donkey ride on the beach. But donkeys in Blackpool, they don't work on a Friday, Craig. Did you know that? They have a day off on a Friday.
I did not know that.
Do you know I've
until
never
Johnny
been to
said.
Blackpool?
You've never been?
I need to write that wrong.
I've been
I need to write
twice.
that wrong.
I've been twice.
Me and Johnny are going to go for a lad's outing, apparently, is what he's saying. So I'll be up for that.
That's all
Craig,
right.
you
No, I
can
don't
come
want
as
to
well.
come. You're okay. You're fine.
We go for imagine me trying to get on a donkey, the poor thing. No donkey rides for me when we go to Blackpool, I don't think.
Yeah. We'll go to Blackpool Tower. That'll do.
Have you been, Craig?
Do you like a good roller coaster?
Love a roller coaster. I love a theme park.
The more ups and downs and twirls and loops, the better.
Yeah, the problem is though, living in the northeast or in anywhere in the north really, all the big theme parks in this country are kind of like in the south, aren't they? Alton Towers is still a good couple of hours away. Maybe Blackpool Pleasure Beach, and that's where we need to go and get our white knuckle fix, Craig.
Yeah. Well, funny enough, I keep thinking about going to Alton Towers before the season ends. I know it's back open.
I'd love to go. Let's all go. Let's have a CTV outing.
We'll organise a team. Fast pass. Yeah.
Director Daniel only go if he doesn't have to queue, is what we've denoted from this. How did we get from nativity to fast passes and a theme park day out? Honestly, how our minds work.
The things we get to. That would be good. Yeah, we'll get that.
Shadaya rightly says, "Thank you, Shadaya, getting me back on track." What colour is Craig using to stamp with?
So when it comes to doing all the stamping, when obviously it's coming to colour with our alcohol-proof ink pads, I'm using our Finesse. So it's our Noir Black alcohol-proof dye ink pad. You know, we do have it in, we've got like Pebble, we've got Grey, so you can use a few of the other colours, although as long as it's your alcohol-proof when it comes to using your Tri-Blends or Spectrum Noir Classiques or any marker pens, then use that one. So I've just used some of the red-brown blend, and then I'm just going to finish up just the tops. I'm just going into the tops with the light. No, I'm not. I'm going with the mid, and then I'm just going to go over the top with the light. But yeah, you can completely change the colour depending on what shade or what colour that you use. For instance, the one that I've already done just to the side of me, I actually done it with the greys. So we'll show you that in a second.
Melissa says, picturing Joe on a donkey, crying, laughing face, crying, laughing face, crying, laughing face. It's not a picture you need, is it, over your breakfast on a Sunday morning? Try and enjoy your Sunday lunch. We just go and change the subject, Craig. I feel like it's unravelling. We've only got 23 minutes left to hold it together for, but you will need to be quick as well for these deals. Very busy now across both collections. I think it's actually the multi-buys that are your favourites, actually. A lot of you are mixing and matching between the two collections. Remember, you can get any two of these for £26 or $35, and you can mix and match across the two. That looks beautiful, Craig.
Now, I've done it just so that the light's hitting off the donkey's back and it's getting darker as it goes down. But then if I bring these few that I'd already coloured earlier and with the donkey, I've just done it just in the greys, and even just the wee lamb at the bottom, I've just kept it just white, so you don't have to use grey like I done earlier. And then we've just coloured in baby Jesus and Mary and Joseph.
Wonderful.
So what we can do is let's die cut these ones out, and then we can start to assemble the pop-up box. We've got a load of wee bits already done. So let's just bring in our low-tack tape, and I'm just bringing in the die set as well. So let's just pop the die round, say Mary and Joseph and the wee lamb.
I really love the colours you've used for Mary and Joseph there. The blue is really, really striking with the greens.
It really stands out, doesn't it? You know, just having the blues and the greens. I did actually, before I started colouring, I did actually Google Mary and Joseph and just seeing what kind of colours tend to be used out there, you know, whether it's other crafters colouring or whether it's just more the traditional scenes from Mary and Joseph. I just had a look to see what colours that they tended to use, and these seem to be some of the colours used.
M says, Craig, if you ever come to Australia, you can visit Gumbaya World Theme Park. You'll love it. I've been to Australia. I've never heard of that theme park. So you're going to have to let me know where is it in Australia, M? And maybe next time we're there, we'll swing by. Dollywood is the one theme park I really want to go to, Craig. Yeah.
Oh, see, I really want to visit in the Neighbours set, although that's not a theme park, but in Australia.
Do you know, I've been to Melbourne 3 times now, and every time I say I'm going to go and see it, and then I just never get around to doing it. It's one of those things. Not really. I used to watch it back in the day. Neighbours, for anyone that doesn't know, is an Australian sitcom that we get here.
It's not a sitcom.
Not a sitcom, a soap opera, thank you, that we get here in the UK. I don't know if it's popular in the US as well, but it's very popular in the UK, and it's based in Melbourne, and you can go and like visit the street where it's all set.
Did you know that Neighbours actually gets more viewers here in the UK than Australia?
Does it? Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah. My friend is friends with Dr. Carl.
Really?
Yeah.
I like his character wife, Susan.
Yeah, she's
anyway,
great.
so if we were going to Australia, I know we've gone from theme parks, we've gone to films, we've gone to Neighbours.
Maybe we could. Do you know what? I've had a brainwave, Craig.
What's
Maybe
that?
we could do like an alternative Christmas nativity. We could do a Neighbours one.
Yeah.
When I was in Italy recently, they have nativities, Craig, and they have them out all year round. So like where we have a nativity at Christmas, they have it all year. There's a whole street in Naples where I was, and it's all shops that only sell ornaments for your nativity that you have at home. It's there all year round. Now people have started doing alternative ones. So people have their like religious nativity, but then they might have all their favourite footballers in another nativity scene as well. So you have all of these very strange mix and match ones. I'm sure there could be a Neighbours one. Why not?
Neighbours, it could be a WWE wrestling one, couldn't there?
And anyone you want. I'd have a Eurovision nativity at home alongside my regular nativity.
That would be interesting. There's something to get our thinking caps on. So what I've just done there, Joe, is I've got a load of these that I'd already coloured, die cut, and I'm just going to start to assemble them. Once again, you can actually put them onto strips of acetate if you want, but I'm just going to pop these straight onto the box. So we've got, you can see just there, we've got a stable. It could be, you can colour it any different way that you want. So let's just add some adhesive just to the bottom. So let's just pick that one up. So that one's going to go right to the back just there. So we're going to actually, let's pop the adhesive just on the other side so that we can have, just take that adhesive off there and then there. So we can have the stable just sitting quite in full view, and we're going to just straighten that one up. So let's turn it around my angle so I can see. So there we go. So we've got the stable at the back, just there. Let's bring in Mary and Joseph and baby Jesus. Let's just pop a bit of tape at the bottom. Let's put them just within the middle. So you're also creating, it's actually, can we lift that one up a wee bit more? So you're kind of creating also a bit of an extra diorama card as well, as if you're looking into the pop-up. So we've got Mary and Joseph there. Then let's bring in Donkey. You can see just there. The other thing as well, when you go with Donkey, I always think of Donkey going, I'm making waffles.
Can I confess something? I've lived with this for a long time, Craig, and I've never told anyone. And I feel like you're all going to judge me now. I've never seen any of the Shrek films.
Oh, see, I can't.
Daniel hasn't seen them either.
I can't be judgmental.
Have you not seen them?
Oh, yeah. Some of the films me and Derek talk about that I've not seen. Then.
Oh, okay. We're all in it together. Maybe what we need is a Purple Towers watch list that we need to create.
That's a good idea.
There's a film on it that Leanne has recognised with a bit of a saucy title, so I won't tell you what it is. It has got Dolly Parton in it apparently, so we're watching that.
Okay.
And we can add Shrek to the list as well, Director Daniel. So we'll add it to the list. Loads of you still commenting away. Diane says, I told you, Joe, if you come to Tennessee, I'll take you to Dollywood. Well, there's an offer I can't refuse. Linda says as well, Craig, if the Gemini comes with a magnetic plate, why do you need to tape these down? Great question.
Because I don't pop the dies on the magnetic plate. I use the magnetic plate as a shim. So I have my die facing down into my cutting plate, then I have my plastic shim, and then I have the magnetic shim. So my magnetic shim isn't actually holding my dies into place. So that's why I tape them down.
If you were doing it at home, would you do it the same, or would you use it to hold the dies in place if you're doing it at home, Craig.
That's the exact same way that I do it at home as well.
Fantastic.
So yeah,
Okey-doke.
I think it was one of the Crafters TV show last week. We kind of covered that, the plate combination. But that's how I use mine, and you'll actually find it's how many of us actually use it. We don't use the metal shim as to how it's intended, because that is the right way. You would pop your dies on the magnetic sheet, so that holds it into place. But yeah, we tend to do it the other way.
Fantastic. There you go. I hope that answers your question, Linda. M says it's in Victoria, Craig, the theme park, which is where Melbourne is. So you'll be able to go, Craig, when you visit the neighbours set. You'll be able to go afterwards. It's quite a big state, though. She says it's the best theme park around. It's very new. Right, we'll add it to the list.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the fact that I was a theme park fan, I would say to you guys, you go to the theme park, I'll go to the neighbours set.
No,
but I want to do both.
You want to make sure you get to that theme park as well.
Actually, there's an idea as well, using the pop-up box, is if you have been on wee trips or travels, you know, if you print out any of your little small photos of that, why not attach these maybe onto the acetate, so then you've got them just popping out of your popper box. That's a nice idea that you could do.
Really lovely.
But there we go. Look, you know, I've still got some other elements just there.
Maybe you could make like pop-up box bobbleheads, like with little pieces, you know, faces that come out of them, like wobbling around.
Yeah, you could. I actually thought you were going to say like characters from, you know, your favourite soap or that, which you could do.
What a great idea.
That's an idea. Yeah, someone that really likes a certain programme, why not do that?
Yeah,
but then
really.
there you go. There's another fun take on certainly the nativity set.
Lots of different ways of using those. It looks brilliant. What I love about the nativity one, Craig, as well, is that it's the most traditional way of Christmas, isn't it? But with a little bit of a modern edge, which is great because you can change the way that you do those colours. Craig's, for instance, there was quite bold, quite striking with those greens and those blues. Loads more pictures coming in, which we absolutely love. This one is from Melissa, which is lovely. Oh, I adore that. She's got some of her Disney characters in there for Oliver. I'm guessing it must have been Oliver's birthday. That is absolutely amazing. I love that. Mary's sent this one in as well. Both of these are gorgeous, aren't they, Craig?
They really are, and it goes to show how different they look, but also theme them whatever way that you want, either just by using different stamped images and die cuts, or just changing the complete colour of how you're decorating it. Could look completely different.
Yeah, absolutely it could. And also Pamela sent that one in. Oh, that one's very lush and full, Craig.
Look at that one. Again, another way that you can then pop as much or as little as you want. Everything that we've made today, you know, we've been quite subtle in what we've popped in the box, but you can go all out if you want and really fill it with lots of pop-up fun.
Yes, absolutely. But of course, it all starts with you getting them, whether you're getting them individually on the 2-4 or you're getting either of the main bundles. Remember, with everything that you buy with this, not just here at Crafters TV, but across the entire Crafters Companion website, you can all use that Club Inspired discount. If you're new to us and you're not wholly familiar with the club, here's Sarah to take you through all the details.
Welcome to Club Inspire, our free loyalty club. As a member of the club, you can save up to 20% every time you shop with us. For every £1 you spend, whether it's in one of our stores or on our website, you'll collect 1 loyalty point. The more points you have, the more benefits you'll receive. As a welcome present, we'll give you 20% discount with your very first order. Once you place your first order, you'll be given 250 points straight away, making you a bronze member. This will mean that you'll receive a 5% discount on all of your purchases until the end of the next calendar year, plus priority postage. 500 points takes you up to silver membership, where you'll get 10% discount plus free shipping when you spend over £20. When you get to 750 points, you'll become a gold member, which gets you a whopping 15% discount on every order, and we'll ship them to you completely free, no matter how big or small they are. Spend over £25 and we'll send them to you via our premium next day delivery courier service. When you reach 1500 points, you'll become a platinum member, giving you the same shipping benefits as a gold member, but with the added bonus of a massive 20% discount on all of your purchases. Now on top of that, you'll receive exclusive discounts, sneak peeks of brand new products, special offers and money saving vouchers. You'll have access to an exclusive secret Facebook group to meet like-minded friends, to find out information first and to be inspired by all the crafty makes. We'll send you a completely free quarterly Digimag direct into your inbox, giving you lots of hints, tips, inspiration, additional offers and some sneaky behind the scenes gossip from the team. So what are you waiting for? Become a member of our club today.
All the details out of Club Inspire, which is just fabulous. Loads of you commenting away. So Monica says we could just watch tons of movies on the Crafters TV cruise, couldn't we? I think that is a great idea, Monica. I love your thinking. Diane saying nativity scene of nativity looks so calming, Craig. And Sonia says, Craig, that is a very nice colour combo. And y'all, let me say, if you have the CC Christmas pad, I just received it, more beautiful in person by far. So that was the lovely Sonia in Louisiana there. Right, the actual die itself. Remember, if you're going for any of the stamps and dies, whether they're the everyday ones or the Christmas ones, you are going to need what we call the worker die that does all the work for you. Now, look, I'm going to level with you. If you were a whiz, if you were a Sarah Scissorhands, you're going to probably be able to do it with a ruler and a craft knife, but my oh my, is it going to be a lot of work. There's going to be a lot of working out, a lot of cutting, and then maybe it won't match up, maybe it's not going to be particularly even. Will it fold down flat? The chances are probably not. That's why we've designed this die for you, and the die is great because, you know, in 2 passes through your machine, you've got a box that is good and ready to go. Not only that, you're also getting the layers for the mats and layers in there. You're also getting the element that cuts the tab, which then sits on the inside of the box there as well. You've got everything that you need really in one pass in a couple of minutes. The actual element that you probably don't enjoy doing, let's face it, which is the actual construction of the base, is done and good to go. Then you can get to the fun bit, which is of course the colouring, which is the construction, the composition, how you put those different projects together. $24.99 and $39.95 if you want to get a hold of that one, which is fantastic. Right, I'm going to run you again through the Christmas ones that you've got. We've included the snowman in the Christmas one this time. I know it hasn't been included recently, the last couple of times I brought this collection to you, but today it is. So this is what you're getting with a snowman. So you've got all of your dies and your stamps in there as well. 24 pieces in that one just there. I'll show you the other ones when they're coloured in and what they look like. So you're also going to get the cottage, which is gorgeous, which is that one there. The nativity that you just saw Craig using. I love the little 3 wise men and the camel in there as well. All of those little detailed dies which really take your project to the next level. You've got this one, which is your poinsettias, which was Craig's first demonstration in this masterclass. You've then got this one, which is the gingerbread people, as you can see just there. Really lovely, got sort of Hansel and Gretel vibe about it, hasn't it? Really lovely. And then you've got Santa and the reindeer in there too. All of those £80 or $99. What's quite interesting, Craig, with these is, especially because it is a stamp and die, it means that people are going to bring different papers in, different cardstocks in, different colour combinations. So actually you could give these dies to 100 crafters and end up with 100 very, very different pop-up boxes. I think it's fair to say, don't you?
Completely, yeah. So if you got the 12 by 12 staycation paper pad, just think how different that would look if you were to incorporate that one. Maybe you've got some of your other paper pads from other collections. It could be from your nature garden, it could be Sarah's signature, or maybe it's just collections that you've got at home elsewhere from us or other companies. Incorporate them, see what else that you can do, how you can use them, whether it's stamps, whether it's dies, you know, you can just completely change the look. It's all about having fun. It's having about seeing what you've got that you could then just make your pop-out box look a wee bit different.
Absolutely, and loads of different ideas you've got over there, Craig, have you, of how we could use these?
We have, yes, you can see here, so Christmas cottage on this one here. Not necessarily would you think of green straight away, but look how that's been decorated. Green's in the background and you've got the snow on the hills as well as the Christmas trees. You've got the deer or the stag, or it could be whatever way that you want to interpret it. Then we've got the ginger men, ginger women house. You can see here, so you've got them all popping out. We've got an array of different gingerbread coming out at the house. You've got all these different parts as well. So you've got hearts, you've got sweets, you've got candy canes, you've got lollies, all of these. We've got jelly tots and that as well that you can see in the background.
Love a jelly tot, don't we, Craig?
Love a good jelly tot. Actually, I had a bag last night, Joe, when I was watching TV.
I haven't had a bag for
a
weeks.
full bag. Yeah, absolutely had a full bag.
I don't get people that open sweets or chocolate. You know, they say it says like share bag in the supermarket. It's got that resealable bit. I cut the resealable bit right off the first time I opened it, Craig.
Can I just say, when I said a full bag, Johnny just in my ear just went, what? Full bag. Yeah, they're not that big. Not that big. So you could be incorporating your jelly tots or any other sweets. There you can see with the nativity here, incorporating some gold. We've done heat embossing with this one here and just making the images stand out even more proud with using extra long acetate. Then if we bring in, like here's another cottage. So again, with this one here, seeing the complete different look by using the blacks and more of your craft colours within these ones. And then if I bring in the poinsettia, another way of changing the colour completely with lots of blues and lilacs within this one.
I love
there.
that one, Craig.
You can see how it really does look completely different compared to if you were to use the traditional style. And then look at the sentiment at the front. Friends, that's one of our past sentiments, so you could be incorporating them as well. It doesn't have to be the ones that come included. But then what about Santa and the reindeers? You know, you don't have to use the reindeers just as a one. Or look at that one, lining all of them all up. You can see we've got, is Rudolph at the front? I hope so. Rudolph doesn't seem to be there with his red nose.
Can you name all of them?
No.
Me neither.
No, it's like the Seven Dwarfs. I can't name all them ones. But yeah, I should know the reindeers by now. I watch enough Christmas films at Christmas and throughout the year. But it goes to show how you can completely change the look on that. I just love how it overlapped all of these ones that you can see, all the reindeers as well, with the Santa and his sack. Here's another one as well. Now, if you've got some foam, so this one has just been die cutting some elements using foam, but if you've got any of your, your fake snow, your artificial snow, could be your glitters, your micro beads, why not incorporate them as well? We've even used the bow on the front of this one to decorate, all of them been using the paper pads as well. So much dimension, but as always, they do fold flat. And I would say, so that one, obviously, size of envelope determines
the size of...
yeah.
You need that white Twix, don't you?
The size of the envelope is determined of... Do you know what? Whatever I can't do it. I cannot do it.
The size of the envelope is determined by the size of the card when it's folded flat. Is that what you're going for?
So when it's folded flat, widthways, it is 7 inches when it's folding flat. But if you, for instance, if you have, so this one is 7.5 inches. So, you know, if you pop that into an 8-inch envelope, that would be absolutely fine. So yeah, you just need to work out what size you want for it to fit into an envelope. But if you've got your Ultimate Pro, your scoreboard, you could be using and making that for your own boxes and envelopes.
Don't forget as well, not just the Christmas ones, you also have the everyday ones on the show as well. I'm just going to whiz you through the different options that are in here. You've got that wonderful Once Upon a Time theme that you've got just here. You also have the gorgeous underwater one, don't forget about that. There was the fairies in there too, which are fantastic. You then had that wonderful floral theme as well. Beautiful, really loving that. You guys have really liked that one. The birthday, now the birthday is always one of the most popular, of course, because it's one of those cards and occasions that we all make for all the time. You then had the nature one too. Love the pops of colour in there. And then finally, you also had the vintage tea party as well. They are all of your options there. Lots of you still chatting away. Amazing. Love all the finished samples, says Marie. Pam saying, love all the Christmas boxes. I have to get started with my cards and boxes. Absolutely, you do. Many of you getting going with your Christmas crafting. Massive thank you to Craig. Craig, are we back together again this week? I have a feeling we might not be.
I don't think we are. I'm not back now till Wednesday. I am in all Wednesday.
Oh, I'm here Wednesday. We're together all day Wednesday. There you are. All right.
Okay, no, yes, I'm in all Wednesday and I'm in all Thursday as well.
Oh, fantastic. So, yeah. We will see you back here then on Wednesday. You and I will be back on Wednesday, which will be fantastic. Massive thanks to you guys as well. Remember though, there's loads more still to come today. Debbie Fisher is back in the building. We're very excited. I could just see her through the studio door window, prepping away, getting ready for that later show. Second Chance Sunday, bringing back a lot of the great deals that you'll have seen throughout this week and the previous week as well. And then we start a brand new week tomorrow. There's a launch day in the morning with something that you're really, really going to love. Myself and Sarah will be here with that for you. Right, we're going to grab some lunch. I guess you're going to do the same, or maybe grab some breakfast, depending on where you are. And we'll see you back here in a few hours. Take care.